Hi, I'm David Hankins,
And I'm Paul Hankins.
and welcome to A Week in Power Squared. This is Super Bowl Sunday,
Yes.
and we're not here to talk about sports, but we want to acknowledge that it's Super Bowl Sunday. Hope everybody is, not is having a good time,
Yeah.
having a super day, so
Yeah.
to speak.
Because we said this last week, we are going to talk about Parasite in this video since we finally saw it.
Right?
However, we're going to talk a little about Power Squared first. So if you're just interested in the review of Parasite, then you can skip to this timestamp on screen here.
So let's talk about what's been going on this week. We had a release of issue number 8, which is Mathemagical Part 1. And it's available on Comixology, Artithmeric, and Indie Planet, links of which will be in the
Description below.
And we also put out the hardcover trade, The Adventure Begins,
Yes.
which is issues 1 through 5. And we also put out 2 t-shirts that we're wearing. And these are available on artithmeric.com. So work is continuing on the comic book.
Yes.
We have Rachel working on issue number 13. It's so hard to think that far ahead, but we're working on 13. And we did a podcast of us reviewing her work.
Yeah.
8 pages. She sent us 9 through 16. We thought it'd be kind of an interesting time to show you, go behind the scenes and talk about reviewing that. So it's a very we're looking at something very visual, and we're trying to play radio announcer
Yeah.
to describe it well enough to get an idea what's going on and what we're looking at. But hopefully you'll check it out. It's on Podbean and on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
And a link below as well.
Yes.
And then we are still really close, though. I think most of us have agreed on the same colorist. We haven't had Trevor look at anything yet.
Yeah.
But we are really close to picking a new colorist, and we will, of course, announce that which will be the Bark next week. And here, when we do the podcast, and when we do this video, we'll mention who that person is to everybody.
Yeah.
Once we've, I guess, signed them up. Something happened after we published issues 8. We received this in the mail.
Yeah.
Which is somebody taking the digital comic and printing it for us.
Yeah.
And it's not a really great print job, honestly. It's kind of, and it came in a envelope with no explanation whatsoever what it was.
Yeah, there's like no note or anything.
Right. So we don't know who sent it and why. I guess we appreciate it, but if you know something about it, let us know, because we really don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
We weren't expecting it, and we do have printers already.
Yeah.
But, we didn't understand where this came from or why.
Yeah.
Well, you know where it came from. It's on the envelope. But it's not a person, it's a company.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like going to Kinko's and having it printed.
Yeah.
But anyway, so if you know anything about it, leave us a comment.
Yeah.
Okay. So this week we're putting out the Hound Dogs Howl.
Yes.
Which is our main newsletter. The Bark is our weekly in between.
Yeah.
Bite-sized information about Power Squared, which we hope if you're watching this, we hope you're also subscribing to that. And you can do that at powersquaredcomicbook.com/join. It's a long thing. That link is also below. And we wrapped up our poll question of the month, which was what comic book film from 2019 was your favorite?
Yeah. And what was the win?
And the winner was Avengers Endgame by 2-1. We'll go to the numbers, but it did actually have a clear winner.
Yes.
And we are moving on from that to what comic book film in 2020 you're looking forward to.
Yeah.
Is there a comic book film that you're looking forward to?
Well, probably Wonder Woman 1984.
Right.
Because Wonder Woman was a good DC movie.
Right.
And I thought the New Mutants had an interesting premise to it.
Okay.
Like a superhero horror movie.
All right.
I've heard mixed things about how it might have turned out behind the scenes, but
Right.
I'm still hopeful that it's at least interesting.
I'm kind of, again, I agree with Wonder Woman 1984. And I'm a little curious about Black Widow.
Yeah.
But, again, we'll see how it works out.
Yeah.
I don't think we're jumping necessarily into the whole Phase 4 Marvel
No, because it also requires a Disney Plus subscription.
Yeah, and a lot of time and dedication that we don't have
Yeah,
or want to give to that cause.
yeah.
We have our own things we're working on. But definitely Wonder Woman, 1984.
Yeah. So speaking of movies, we finally saw Parasite.
Right.
We saw it through DirecTV instead of going to the theater because it's kind of close to award season, and this was a convenient way to do it.
And it was, because people's schedules don't necessarily allow for us to go.
Yeah. So Parasite is a very heavily hyped film from South Korea.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's the first Korean film to receive certain nominations.
Right. It's up for Best Picture, Best Foreign Language Film, which Best Screenplay, Best Director, I think Best Design and Editing or something like that. There's editing in there.
Yeah.
And I think production design. But there's a lot of, it is very, very heavily hyped. It did win, the Cannes Film Festival, and it also won for something at the Golden Globes, I think Best Drama or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So, what did you think?
It was a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was well acted.
Mm-hmm.
The struggle between the classes was depicted in an interesting way.
Yes.
I like the sets and everything.
Some of the visuals were really good.
Yeah.
The shots and scenes of, I don't know what city in Korea it is. I don't know if it's Seoul or not. I don't know if that was actually made clear or not. But there was some of that, they're walking through the city and stuff. Some of those are really very interesting vistas that I had never seen before.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Korean culture. And so I felt like it got a little insight into a certain, class relationships.
Yeah.
But overall,
It was kind of overhyped.
yes. And I know that sometimes we get picky about story, and not only because we're telling a story ourselves with Power Square, but we're also telling stories individually. There's some I saw some holes in the story that were a little hard to overcome.
Yeah.
And at the same time, nothing against the fact that it was in subtitles.
Yeah.
Though sometimes, honestly, the subtitles were kind of hard to read sometimes.
Because it's white subtitles, and sometimes they were against white or very bright backgrounds, so it could be hard to read sometimes.
Yeah. And as you said, I think it was really well acted.
Yeah.
Again, some of the visuals were really striking, but I just didn't think the story held up as well as it's supposed to.
It was more like when you think about it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, and we saw it last night, so we've had less than 24 hours to think about it.
Yeah.
But we did talk about it afterwards, like we do, and it just it's. I don't think it's necessarily the best picture of the year.
No. I could see it getting like best foreign film for sure.
Yeah.
But for best picture, I'd still say 1917.
Right. And there will be a review on Trophy Unlocked.
Yes.
For this on February 5th, as we try to cram in all the films we haven't reviewed that are coming up for Best Picture at the Academy Awards, which is February 9th.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get them all in as fast as we can. So that will be up, but that's not until the 5th.
Yeah.
And we will be back next week
Yes.
with another Week in Power Squared. So until next time, I'm David Hankins.
I'm Paul Hankins.
And this has been A Week in Power Squared.